It's longer time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else? Greetings, bonjour, what's happening? Welcome to Lager Time. My name is Paul Cree. Lager Time is my podcast where I share bits of writing that I'm working on, mostly poems at the moment, but occasionally other things. In the past, I've done like thought pieces, almost like my attempts at essays, and then a lot of music as well. But at the moment, it's mostly poems. I'm really going through a whole file of poems that I've written over the last couple of years. So doing this each week helps me to, I don't know, like edit them, filter them out, see which ones are good, see which ones aren't. Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. So welcome if this is your first time. If it's not, welcome back. So what's been happening? Yeah, it's been another busy week. Not been out quite as much. I'm very tired today. I know I was knackered last week, but today I was up at 5. I had to be at a school in Maidstone at 9 o'clock this morning. So I got back about 2 hours ago, where currently it's about 3:30 in the afternoon on Friday in a rainy Plumstead. And then I was up really early yesterday as well, but that's just because one of my dogs was upset that there was some rowdy foxes doing what foxes do. But yeah, it's been good. Yeah, just tired, mate. Just tired. But it's been a couple of very pleasant days this week, weather-wise. And then also on Monday, I went and saw the play Deep as You're at the Shakespeare's Globe, which brings me to my large up. And this week's large up is to my good mate and collaborator is Conrad Murray. So I've worked with Conrad for about 15 years now. We set up Beats and Elements together. He is the artistic director of Beatbox Academy, which has had a number of, it's had 2 very successful shows, one of which is on tour now. Piper had Frankenstein's, won multiple awards, and Romeo and Juliet, which I was in, has won awards. And he's a bit of a pioneer in UK hip-hop theatre, taking the sort of beatboxing and doing all the music live element and putting that into theatre shows, and taught me a lot working with Con. When I was quite new to theatre, really. I'd only been in a couple of years when I met him, and he was already steeped in it. But he never really held that against me, just took me on board and taught me a lot about running workshops. So, back to Deep as You're. So Deep as You're is a play that was written by Chadwick Boseman, who's no longer with us. He of Black Panther fame. I believe it was about 20 years ago, but it's a good play. So it's quite a big deal, and Con is one of the musical directors on the show. And it was good. It's a long show. It's almost 3 hours. And I'd not been to the Globe before. So we were in I forget what it's called, but it's the theatre that's indoors, not the outdoor one, but it's amazing. It's really tight in there, but it's a beautiful space. And the show was really good. It's worth a watch. And also in the cast, there's some familiar faces. Nadine Rose Johnson, who I've known for many years. She's from Beatbox Academy. Amanita Francis, also from Beatbox Academy. I've known those two for a long, long time, and they're brilliant in the show. And also Kaya Shaw, who I'd worked with on Romeo and Juliet. They do a great job. And yeah, most of the actors are sick in that show. It's really good. It's a real feat. It's a very sort of Shakespearean love is tragedy type show set in New York. But yeah, it's wicked, really good. And it was just nice to see my mate and also people that I've known getting this level of recognition. And the show's been really well reviewed. And I came out, I'm on the South Bank. It was a nice evening. had a nice stroll back to London Bridge. Yeah, sometimes with London, you forget what particularly the middle of London is like. Because, I don't know, everyone's double busy, isn't they? So they're always just passing through, head down, thinking about stuff. You take that moment to, actually, London's pretty cool. And yeah, it's a good night. Which brings me to this week's poems. There's 3 of them. They all have a link, which is London. It's a bit vague, but 2 of them are a little bit more local, and the other one's a bit more general. So I'll get stuck into it. Number 1. I found this one earlier. I quite like it. It's called A Wednesday. In a world of biases, provocateurs and pious peeps, undeterred self-publicists and narcissistic rubber cheeks, billionaires, donators and trusts, a whole lack of trust, a whole lot of love and lust, train tubes and bus, it's a lonely place, cold and unsafe on a Wednesday, Charlton, Costa coffee, moderate to low salary, self-employed mate, there's no guarantee, trying to figure out my way, bruv, I got stripes and all of the above, so what's my beef? I watch beef on the bus, Wiley does what Wiley does, switch back to my feed, unsettled dust in the Middle East, more conflict, what again? Try breathe, more mess to comprehend, more mud to sift through in search of gems, it never ends, quick to get partisan, too many play Peter Pan, take a childish position when they push their prams and toys fall out, 1 + 1 = 59, if you ain't on side they cast you out, invisibility cloak when I step out, worried I'll get stepped on and found out and dashed away like a kebab tray after a night out. Wow, it's a lot, mate, especially for a Wednesday. So, I vaguely remember writing this, and I found it earlier. Now, this was written, and it was dated 8th of January 2020. Now, that year was when we all went into COVID lockdown. But at the start of the year, before we went into lockdown, I was really busy. I was flying all over the place. I remember I was working on something like 8 projects all at once. And one of those projects was with Pilot Theatre, who were based up in York. And Pilot make theatre productions where they adapt novels for teenagers. So they're very good at what they do. And that year, they'd adapt Crompton Nights, which is written by Alex Wheatle, who I got to meet as part of this project, who was, rest in peace, he died a couple of years ago. A very nice man, very intelligent. Very much enjoyed being in his company. But I was working on the education side of that project. And so what that meant was, I was going around like Derby, Doncaster, Wakefield, I don't know, York, I think. And then loads of schools in London. I was flying all over the place. And then Wollop, COVID hit. So all of that, I'm thinking back to this Costa Coffee in Charlton, and I vaguely remember writing this. It was just like a little freestyle thing. And that's what would have been at a time where I was probably really tired because I was just running around doing all these workshops and shows and whatever else. And we were also doing High Rise that year, which was a Beats and Elements show that I was in. Little did I know that a couple of months down the line, nothing, all went kaput and the world changed. Anyway, that Costa Coffee is still there. I probably would have been where it is in Charlton. It's in a retail park, but it's near the Pirate Studios. So I probably would have been in one of those Pirate Studios doing some music or something like that. I went for a phase of using those. They're all right. Anyway, let's crack on. This is called Fag Break. Plumstead Station, Platform 1. Geezer behind the seating booth, further down the platform, sneaking a fag in, out the view, out the beady eye, gets asked by staff to put it out. He kisses his teeth and stubs the thing. Probably half of it left. Don't know what that's worth, but I imagine a fair bit given the price of cigarettes. Staff walks off. Geezer moans to the lady next to him and anyone else who steps near. Everyone does it, he says, which isn't entirely true, but largely true. Certainly a lot of people do. He just got unlucky today. First time I'd ever seen anyone get busted here. Made me wish that same staff member was there that time when I stepped off a train onto the very same platform and saw some man squatting down with his arse out taking a shit behind the very same seating booth. Should have smoked a fag whilst he was there. Seems to me they want the benefit of the risk, but none of the consequences. If you can't do the time, how's it go again? I forgot. Right, there you go. Yes, I've seen this many a time. I'm sure we all do in London. Some people are just completely brazen with it now. Just don't care, do they? Just do it. I mean, smoking's one thing. I don't know. I'm not a smoker. I always think, can't you just wait until you get off the train at the other end? But then also I'm thinking, well, it's a platform. It's outdoors. You're away from people. I don't know. Okay. Occupy. One Friday night, a few of the boys wanted to check out the Occupier camp outside St. Paul's, en route to this club. I'd never seen a shanty town before, but I imagine this is what one might look like. Minus the poor people, most probably. The boys were sat on the cathedral steps, whilst down below, in front of the camp, a debate was being had about day-to-day camp stuff. Dull. Not sure what I was expecting. It weren't that. Couldn't fault the general effort though. They believed in something and pitched up for weeks and made a lot of noise. When I got there, my mate T was laughing, as moments before I arrived, some geezer in a high-vis, apparently holding his hard hat and clutching a paper, possibly a few pints in, bowled past and shouted something like, "Get a fucking job." I laughed when I heard it too. But hard hat had a point. And they had a point too. Maybe there was a 1%. But they were a 4%. That geezer was more like a 95%. And that 4% weren't listening to the 95% and still don't. They could have debated that. I would have listened. As well-intentioned as they may be, if there was a revolution, I'd hope it wasn't led by this lot, said the 95% to the 4%, speaking to the 1%. I just wish I'd seen it. Oh, there you go. There you go. So that is it. 3 poems, bish, bash, bosh, short and sweet. That is this week's Lager Time. Don't forget, got this gig coming up in a couple of weeks, so I've got to go and put a set together. So I might go back and listen to all of these episodes, work out which ones I can go and perform. So it's Friday, 27th of March, so that's in 3 weeks, I think. Poetry and oh God, I'd have to rethink Lager Time, won't I? What are we going to do? What am I going to do? What are you going to do? I might have to pre-record it. If I could, maybe live stream it. No, I won't do that. But yeah, it's Poetry and Poppadums. You can hear me do a set, it'll be about 15 or 20 minutes. I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. Probably be a mixture of this stuff and maybe some old favourites. But yeah, Murray Lachlan Young is the headliner. It says a hybrid mix of hilarious stand-up verse and flamboyant, punchy wit and emphatic humour. That's what it says on the flyer. But yeah, he's an interesting guy. I don't know him, but I listened to an interview of him recently. He was signed to a record label in the 90s and had a massive advance, and there was loads of publicity around him. He was like a rock and roll star in a way of the poetry world, and he's probably an interesting guy. He's been through a lot that that barely of any of us who do this would ever see. So anyway, he's there. He's a headliner. There's me and there's Skye Lilly, who is a rising lyrical star, which is what it says on the flyer, and it's all hosted by Paul Lyalls. It's a good night. It's not too serious. It's a good laugh. It's well paced out. It's only like 3 of us plus a bit of hosting. It does a bit of music. It's a bit cabaret. It's a good bar, and yeah, it's generally a good vibe. So yeah, come down. Tickets are a tenner and all of that. And if you would be so kind as to like, the podcast or rate it or whatever, or subscribe if you're on Substack. And that's it. No updates. Oh yeah, no updates yet in terms of music and a book. They will come. I've just been so busy last 2 weeks. It's been very difficult to get the time to come and do any more mixing on the music. So it'll come when it will come, I guess. And then once I've done the music, then I've got to sift through these files and work out which ones I want to put into a book. I don't know, maybe in a couple of months, something will emerge. But yeah, I'm sure I will report it here. But I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Friday. Peas and taters. I'm done. Bye. It's longer time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?